Okay, let's get started all about being made for more. I'm Shannon Marie Bennett. I am so happy that you are here today, and I just want to introduce myself and my family. That's my family of six up on the top, a little picture there. And I'm a homeschool mom. I started my own creative handmade brand about 8 years ago, Creative Crane Workshop, and we are still going today. And I created this Made for More space because I know what it feels like to want more, whether that's more income, more freedom, more time with your family, more of what really matters most. So you are in the right place, and let's jump in. So today we're just going to talk about my whole journey from the garage back in 2017 up to today, which involves national television. And I just want to say that you do not need a formal business plan. You might just need a garage and a glue gun. For me, it was broken crayons to start. And, I started in my garage. I ended up in lots of craft shows, like in that middle picture there, lugging all of my kitchen furniture around to these craft shows and selling my handmade products. And then, a few years later, ended up on national TV, still promoting the same business. The growth was starting to pay off. And we're going to talk about how you can do the very same things with your own handmade skills and products and growing all along the way. So it'll be about 45 minutes, this presentation of our time together. Definitely whenever you have any questions, just drop them over in the chat. And if we have time at the end, I will answer questions and catch up there if there's, sometimes hopefully we have no tech issues today, but definitely drop your questions in the chat, and I want to be mindful of your time, so we'll do them at the end. Okay, so we are going to talk about three main things today. First, we'll start with the scrappy start that sparks success. We'll talk about building to sell with confidence, and then lastly, going from creative chaos into strategic clarity. So I just want to say that you might just be able to start right where you are. That was the case for me. I had no fancy plan. I didn't have a pile of money laying around and a big formal picture of like where I was heading. I just started with what I had in my garage. And, I eventually learned how to set myself up for success with the strategies that we're going to talk about today, and real results that you can definitely have too in your own business. And it all starts with imperfect beginnings. And then lastly, we're going to talk about discovering how to transform your creative energy into intentionality and a strategic plan so that you can grow something that is sustainable, that you love. So I have a feeling that maybe your core values are something kind of like mine, which is my family, freedom, and creativity. Family is the center of everything that I do. Like I said before, my family of six, 4 kids, and husband. And I built the business that I have today so that it would mesh in with our lives and not take over our lives. So I definitely don't believe that you can I don't think you have to choose between either being a successful entrepreneur or being a stay-at-home mom or grandma. You can definitely have both. And it's that freedom of being able to have both that keeps fueling me, that I'm sure you're trying to achieve too. The freedom of setting my own schedule, creating income kind of on my own terms, right? And we definitely deserve both of financial freedom and freedom of time. And then, creativity is something that everyone here today is not a stranger to. And it's something that I just can't ever let go of. Creativity is in my bones. It's who I am. So if you've ever dreamed of being able to use your creative handmade skills and forming that into something that is a business that can sustain you and your family, you're in exactly the right place, and we're going to talk about how to do that today. So funny, I had these pictures still on my phone from 8 years ago. This is my very first sale that I ever made on Facebook with our handmade crayons. My kids and I were doing a homeschool project. It was kind of like a trash to treasure thing. Never planned on starting a business, but here we were with our first sale, and it's just wild to me that you can turn broken crayons into, years later, a 7-figure brand. And that picture is just such a sweet flag, like a flag in the ground moment for me, of my 2 older kids that were helping. And then at the time, I had a 2-year-old in diapers and a baby on my hip. And that was our imperfect beginning. And the best part of all of this is that you can do it in way shorter amount of time than I did because I had nobody helping me along the way in the beginning. So that is why I'm doing this, because I want to be that assistance that I wish I had someone to ask questions from along the way. I was just doing it on my own, but time is of the essence. And so here we go. Okay, so this is definitely for you if you're like me in one of these three areas. Possibly your friends or family are always telling you how talented you are and how much they love the products that you make. Or maybe you just feel like really choked by time and finances and you are absolutely determined to find a scrappy way out of it. Or perhaps you just really want to stay home with your kids or your grandkids and you're like, I am going to find out a way to make extra money so that I can, bring in some extra side cash and be with the family while you're doing it. So the Made for More method is basically what I've compiled over these past 8 years. And it is the results that you want and what you're looking for that blend all of this together. And we're going to talk about those details at the end. But for now, I just want to let you know that you absolutely can take your handmade skills and turn that into a consistent moneymaker and freedom taker for you and your family. So this is for you today. If you are anything like me, when those friends who are complimenting you and your handmade skills, you're doubting them and you're like, oh, they're just being nice, right? That's what we do. Or perhaps you're like me in the essence of you're tired of being broke and you don't want to say no to your kids anymore. Like when they're like, Mom, can we go to Chick-fil-A for dinner tonight? And you have to say no because you just don't have that extra income, right? Or maybe you're like me in this other way, whereas I've talked about it already, but being a stay-at-home mom, I did not want to compromise that. I wanted to figure out a way that I could stay home with my kids, love on them in person as much as I wanted to, and also find that financial freedom to help support my husband with the job that he was working for our family. I totally get it. And like I said, I want to help you. I want to help you have those dream vacations that we all dream about, like this one when I got to take our family to Disney World after achieving a huge milestone with a subscription box company we worked with. But even just the everyday things like being able to buy groceries that aren't always on sale, or being able to like go on a date night and hire a babysitter and not have to feel bad about it. Like, oh, this is stretching us so much just because I'm out on this date with my spouse, right? I want to help you turn any overwhelming circumstances into overwhelming profits and give you the freedom to actually live the life the way that you want it to. So I have a really fun bonus today. I'm going to tell you something. I have 2 fun bonuses. Yesterday was my birthday, so I have an extra birthday bonus at the end. But this one, if you stay to the end, then you will get the strategy that I have developed over the past few years on LinkedIn. A lot of people don't even realize that there is so much low-hanging fruit on LinkedIn for your business. It's the Scrappy Seller's Guide to LinkedIn for e-com wins. Now, this strategy that I'm going to share with you, if you stay to the end, it's how I got in contact with the editors at Magnolia Journal and Parents Magazine. So I'm going to hand that over you to implement as a thank you for being here for this time today. So we're going to talk about tapping into our purpose. There's my purpose, my sweet little family. And you have to anchor yourself to your why. So for me, my family is absolutely the thing that lights my fire, and they're the reason that I started this journey in the first place, because I wanted to be around for all those magical moments, like I'm sure you do. Whatever your why is, it's something that means a lot to you. And building a business from home means that I get to create something that is meaningful for all of us, right? So the why, your why, is going to be the thing that's going to carry you through all of the messy middle hard moments. It does not matter how successful you are. There will absolutely be moments that are going to test and try you, and you have to be anchored into that why so that you don't shift from where you started. You have to be grounded into your why. It has to be strong enough. For me, anytime I face doubt and struggle, I remember that my why is my family and I'm doing this for them, for us, and it keeps me going and gets me through. So, like I just said, it has to be strong enough, that why. So just stop and think, like, what is the thing that I'm really wanting to do this for? I don't know. I can't answer that for you. Only you can answer that for yourself. But you can definitely drop it in the chat and we can talk about the whys at the end. Um, but for me, it's family. And part of that also is that um, my why and my mission, they go hand in hand because I want to be able to do life together. Like I homeschool our kids so that we can have freedom. And these pictures are evidence of me being able to bring my kids along the journey. The bottom picture is a business trip that I was on this year in Connecticut, and I got to bring my two oldest kids. We did tours of Yale and just like all kinds of new things that they never would have been exposed to if I hadn't had that business trip and they came along, for the ride. And then the one on the top is actually when I was invited to be at a founders feature on The View this past summer. Our whole family went on a family trip, and that's the 6 of us in Times Square on 4th of July, which is so wild. It was amazing, all because of this business that we have built over the years and being able to just bring everyone along to experience together. So if you're wondering like what that pivotal moment was for me, like what changed it? When did the pivot happen? I actually remember it as clear as day. And it's that thought of myself being the best investment that I will ever make. And it's me, So I just want to make sure you know that you are the very best investment that you will ever make. Okay? It's you. Let that sink in because it's true. It's not just fluff. It's absolutely true. So once I had that realization of being the very best investment I could make, I started to, think and move forward and grow in my ideas towards my business. And you may think that all of that was looking beautiful and pretty and perfect, like these pictures, okay? But I'm here to bust that myth, okay? Because the truth is that my workspace, it could not have been any uglier. Are you ready for it? Because I'm going to show you. If you do not believe me, this is the garage where I was pumping 6 figures of crayons from. Can't make that up, right? The mess, the chaos. Like you can see my kids' bicycles and my exercise machine. And like, it was crazy, right? But I made it work. And it's the thing that got me to where I am today. I didn't have much space. Obviously, right? Like I just used what I had. And I have no shame in this because it's part of my story and it's part of my journey and it's part of what got me where I am today. So, like I said earlier, you do not need a formal business plan. You might just need a garage and a glue gun, for me, broken crayons. And I know so many of us, like we scroll Pinterest constantly looking for side hustles. And I just want to say that you can absolutely make one with your kids in tow if you would like and make it for real. Okay. So why fancy fails and scrappy wins? You ready? This is the lie that keeps so many of us stuck. And we've been fed this, really beautiful polished fantasy. Like I showed you a few slides ago of those beautiful workspace pictures. But success actually starts with not necessarily those perfect, beautiful things, okay? For most entrepreneurs, this is how it happens. That beautiful mess that I had, that was what I had to use. And successful people, they don't wait around for things to be perfect. Getting scrappy and getting resourceful is the answer. And you just using what you have. And there is absolutely no shame in that because it's the thing that gets you going and builds the momentum for the success that you will have in the future. Okay. So fancy is waiting for perfect. Scrappy is starting anyway. All right. The second thing is that fancy is impressing others, whereas scrappy is building momentum. I am here for momentum all day long instead of trying to impress other people because that's actually getting me towards my goal, right? The building momentum. And then lastly, fancy can be really, really expensive, whereas scrappy, it's just profitable. So I told you that I stopped waiting for the perfect time, the perfect setting to get my business going. And I just started and I bet on myself. And that is truly when everything started to change for me. Okay. So if you are like, you're just waiting for somebody to give you permission to start, I'm telling you right now, here it is. If you've been waiting, it's now, okay? These are the doors that opened for me when I started betting on myself. Yes, I pitched for Shark Tank, Live with Kelly and Mark, The View, like these incredible national television features. They started opening or arriving in my inbox because I just started betting on myself and moving forward with what I had. Was that ever the plan? Absolutely not. I never thought something like that would happen, but it did. And it's pretty awesome and amazing and incredible and wild to even talk about now. So just to remind you, I did all of that all the while homeschooling my 4 kids, all the regular things of daily life. And absolutely, it was crazy sometimes, but was it impossible? No, it's not impossible. And you know what? You can do it too, okay? So let's talk about how. So I started in my garage. I had no money. I had no team. I mean, I had a few kids. And I had no big 10-year plan like people who go to business school think you need to have. I had my broken crayons, I had my creativity, and a huge fire in my belly for more freedom for my family to live the way that we wanted to, okay? And I turned all of that into a successful 7-figure brand as seen this year on The View. That's me back in the green room. Pretty neat moment. Okay, so small steps, they turn into massive momentum. You've probably had this like thought cross your mind, like, okay, Shannon, yeah, this is so cute, but really, like, what about me? And I don't care where you are in your journey, you are always going to have that voice of doubt creep into your mind, always. Whether you're like up late at night working on your business or you're trying to learn a new skill, those are the moments when that doubt creeps in that most people quit. Not because they cannot succeed, but because they don't believe that those small steps that they're taking part in, that they matter. But the tiny actions, they snowball faster than you actually realize because the small steps equal massive momentum. But momentum, it does not start big, it starts small. Okay, so if you think about a snowball, it started with just one snowflake. So for us in our businesses and our creative skills, it's that one idea, one product, one happy customer, one sale, and all of those tiny little actions, they build up on each other and they create the confidence, the clarity, and the cash flow way, way, way faster than you realize. So the most powerful place that you can start is actually small. And if you didn't know, Apple and Amazon both started in their garage. So your kitchen table is not a limitation. It is actually a launch pad. And scrappy, it doesn't stay scrappy. It grows, okay? So everything that was once small or everything that was once big started small. It is just a law of natural progression of growth, right? It doesn't happen overnight, although it may appear that way to people, but it doesn't. It happens step by step. So the scrappy things, they turn steady and into scale. So I absolutely started exactly where you are at the craft shows. Like I said, lugging my furniture out of my house to set up my booths. I had no followers, absolutely no funding. It was hard for me to even scrape up the cash for my booth fees. I just had a fun idea and some grit and the willingness to begin. So I'm going to ask you, why not you, right? Why not, really? So the last thing we're going to talk about is the copy-paste product problem. And I'm sure that if you start to scroll on any marketplace like, Amazon or Jane or all these marketplaces that you shop, very quickly, it's like things all start to look similar and the same. They're imported and brought over overseas, but while this is the model that most people are taught when they want to start an online business, it's what gets lost in the noise the quickest, okay? So some people, like when they think of a handmade product, I think they don't realize that somewhere along the way, the value of the maker was lost and handmade somehow became less than. People started chasing these shortcuts and they lost the soul of like why products actually matter. But the thing is that buyers are actually craving meaning again. Handmade is absolutely back and buyers do want it. And handmade, it's not outdated. I'm a witness to that every single day in my own business. People definitely want story and substance. They want to connect with a real person behind a real product, and they're willing to pay for things that feel real again. In this AI world that we live in now, your skills are exactly what they're looking for, especially when they're looking for unique and meaningful gifts. So this whole handmade, made in the USA stamp, it builds trust. It signals quality to the customer. And when you're actually making it and creating it, it creates this emotional connection with you and your customer that no factory overseas could ever replicate. And the other benefit of not working overseas is you get to skip the whole tariffs game. So the handmade advantage is that your work, it doesn't just look different, it feels different too, because it's not actually about, just what you make, but it's also about what you stand for, like the whole package, right? Handmade wins on trust and loyalty and also impact. So what if you absolutely could build a business with your own two hands, with your skills and your story? What if the thing that you thought made you small, like your small handmade product, is actually your biggest asset that sets you apart? Like me and my handmade crayons. I remember being ashamed of that when I first started, people saying, "Oh, what do you do?" And I would feel my face turn flush when I say, "I make crayons." And people couldn't wrap their head around it, right? But it turned out to be the biggest asset that I had in my business, was the thing that was the smallest, seemingly most insignificant to start with. So what if you could build a real thriving business with your own two hands? So imagine your own handmade product being featured in the places like I showed you. It absolutely is possible, and we're going to talk about how. It is that Made for More method that I told you about earlier. So the Made for More method, it's a 6-week success strategy that will help you get your creative product sold, listed, scaling, and way faster than actually trying to just DIY it on your own with YouTube videos. Because the truth is that every day that you wait and you stall and that you don't start on your own business or pour yourself into your own business is a day that your product isn't out there making money, making more impact. And because you're skipping out on it, it isn't just a missed opportunity for you, but it's also a delay in the extra income that you could be giving to your kids for that Chick-fil-A dinner that they asked for, or maybe like buying those groceries that aren't on sale this week, and then I don't know about you, but with 4 kids, my girls are in theater. It's like that money could be going to their theater fees and their theater life, and kind of like relieving the stress, right? So whatever sports your kids are in, all to say, whatever is holding you back, it's not worth it, because our kids need to see us stepping into our own brilliance. They need to be like, wow, my mom is going for it and I am so proud of her, right? Because why not, right? They're following our example. So we get to pave the way for them. So do it for yourself and also do it for the kids. And I'm just going to encourage you to say yes to progress, profit, and purpose, okay? All with our own two hands. So if you go through the 6 weeks of the Made for More method, by the end of it, you will have a product that you are proud of and proof that it sells, your first handmade item listed and also selling locally, which is huge, a plan and an application for your first in-person event, whether that's a craft fair, a pop-up, or a trade show, depending on where you are on your journey, if you have already started or, where you are in the process. And you'll have an online store that's up and ready to sell and shop from, whether it's Etsy, Shopify, or Amazon Handmade. Those are all platforms that I sell on a regular basis with our brand, and can definitely help you with whichever one is most suited fit for you. And then lastly is that you will have a growing email list and a social presence that you can build and pitch from. But you're also going to have the confidence to grow. And even if you want to go into wholesale and retail, if you have those profit margins, we'll get you there too. You'll have a business that fits your mom or grandma's schedule. You'll have real income and it'll be in your pocket, which absolutely feels amazing. And you'll have a supportive community that reminds you that you really were made for more. This is something that I missed in the beginning. I totally missed the boat on. So community is absolutely key. And then a legacy. I don't know if it gets more important than that. A legacy for your children, showing them that anything is possible as they watch their mom or their grandma accomplish her dreams. So, to start your handmade business, starts with creative ability, resourcefulness, betting on yourself, and then taking the shot, the whole follow through. So Allie is someone that I worked with, a sweet children's book author, and she said that Shannon gave me some very valuable advice as I started my online store. She has a wealth of knowledge based on her own amazing success as an e-com based business owner, and I'm happy to say that I now have a shop that brings in consistent sales. I'm so grateful for her help. Go Allie! Okay, if you're wondering like what this whole thing entails with the 6 modules, the first one is craft your idea, and it's just about starting scrappy. We will strategically brainstorm your product, choose and define your first sellable product, and use what you already have. So by the end of it, there's no more waiting for the perfect idea. You're not going to overthink anymore. You'll just start doing and implementing to get you started. Oh, here's sweet Alexis. This is another person that I had the opportunity of working with. Just in case you're like wondering, I do have, some amazing women that I have worked with and have grown their businesses. This is Alexis, and she said that Shannon has been an absolute asset to my business growth. Not only has she been a collaborative partner, but she helped me develop new income streams for my e-commerce business. Shannon has a wealth of information and knows how to help business owners get from A to Z. Thank you, Alexis. She's got an amazing blanket company, Everyday Cozy Living. If you need like a luxury blanket, she's the one. Okay, the second week of the Made for More method is all about craft to cash. So it's like listing it, selling it, and getting your profit. And like I said before, you will you can do both. You'll have your product online and then also potentially selling locally. You'll learn how to photograph all of your products and write descriptions that will connect emotionally and sell your products with your customers. And then if you don't already know about Canva and AI, it is an amazing time saver tool that we will dive into as well. So, Kim. So this is a note from Kim. Kim is the founder of Nash & Jones, which is a handmade skincare line. And she said that Shannon is a pleasure to work with. Not only did she open my eyes to selling new channels, but she has personal experience with all of them. The valuable firsthand experience saves tons of time making common mistakes, which I've definitely made every mistake you could probably think of. But anyway, Kim said that her mind was put at ease when endeavoring into new sales channels. Having someone who has done it all before is an invaluable service. And that really is true. If you've ever gone through something on your own and it didn't go well, having someone with you makes all the difference. Okay, the third lesson is about pop-up and profit. So you will have like a local in-person market to go to, like I said, whether it's a craft show or a trade show, depending on like where you are in the sales chain. But you'll learn about how to sell in person, how to make your product package so that it's presentable in the way that it shows off best. And we'll also talk about building your email list so that you can get back in touch with those people that are so interested in your product that you met in person. The fourth lesson is digital doors, and it's all about opening your online store. Like I said, you can choose from Etsy, Amazon Handmade, or Shopify. Those are all resources that I use on a daily basis. You'll learn all the tips and tricks, tongue twister, goodness, of shipping, which is a big deal. I did it the wrong way for a really long time. So that is key when you're shipping products. And then lastly, we'll talk about social media in that lesson and your presence on social media and the amazing value of Pinterest. Pinterest is my absolute favorite, and I can't wait to share that with you. Oh, and then lastly, we have a little testimony from my friend Heather. She's the founder of Epsomet, which is a kind of like an Epsom salt bath in a cream, and it's all made in the USA. She said that Shannon has played an invaluable part in growing my business through new revenue streams and national TV features. And Heather, her brand is totally killing it. If you ever see her on national TV, super proud of her. Okay, the fifth lesson is from scrappy to being stocked in stores. Totally possible. It's just the natural progression of things if you have the profit margins. So we'll talk about wholesale and the trade shows, which way is right for you to scale, and then how to decide which stores would be potentially good stockists for your product. And then the sixth lesson is all about batching business and making marketing fit into your life. And this is so valuable because it is time-saving tips. You'll choose one main marketing stream to start with. For me, it's Instagram. That's my main marketing chain. And you'll build a simple content plan out, which we'll do together. And you'll have 4 weeks, so an entire month batched out of content that will automatically just post on your behalf. And kind of like, for those of you who make like Play-Doh, it's like you don't make one little jar of Play-Doh at a time, right? You do a whole batch and then you segment them out. The same goes with this content strategy. Sorry, I had a tickle in my throat. Okay, so remember, you do not need a perfect plan. There is my very ugly picture and packaging that I had of my unicorn crayons when we first started. And they sold, even like that, okay? So you just have to start, all right? If you've ever spent hours, I know I'm not the only one, Googling on how to start your handmade business online, looking for tips and tricks on YouTube, it's exhausting. And I know that because that was the path I took for so long until I finally found my groove. And the Made for More method will absolutely get your product listed, sold, and scaling faster than DIYing it yourself. All right. So just imagine what could happen if you started today. Okay. Made for More is a 6-week success strategy designed for people exactly like you, okay? The ones who want to get your product listed, you want it sold, you want it growing, and you don't want to be overwhelmed, okay? You don't have to hustle 24/7 like so many people do. You don't need a factory. You just need a closet or a garage or wherever it is that you're going to be working out of, and a clear path, okay? You need some clarity and a guide that does not gatekeep. I do not gatekeep. Drives me crazy. And a push to start, which is what I'm going to help you with, okay? So I'm sure you've been wondering like, okay, Shannon, what does this cost, right? Let's get down to the nitty gritty. So here's the breakdown of the Made for More method. It goes over those 6 different modules that I just talked about with you and the value of each of those. Sometimes I work with people who need just a portion of it, and that is the cost of each one. The total value of the Made for More method is just over $1,600, but today it's just $599. So it's a little bit, it's more than 50% off. It's a good deal, is the bottom line. However, you get the opportunity to be a founding member. This is actually the first time I've ever done this, which is super exciting because I'm just so pumped to be able to help other people that are where I was 8 years ago. I wish I would have had something like this. That's why I started. So this is your opportunity for the first time ever to join the Made for More method. The doors are open. You can become a founding member today, which is a really big deal. And because of that, I'm going to give you the opportunity to have another discount, and that is another $100 off. So because you have the opportunity to be a founding member today, instead of it being $599, it's $100 off, which makes it $499. So the value is still the same. It's just over $1,600. Founding members get $100 off, making it $499. Who doesn't love a good deal? I do. I love it. I love a great deal. Okay. In addition to that great deal, I'm going to give you 5 bonuses today. Super fun. But it's only valid this week. Okay. So if you decide to buy in the Made for More method today and become a founding member. I'm also going to give you the pinning profit system that I've created, which is my own personal system of how I use pins and blogs to optimize and get free traffic and sales on my site. Pinterest is my absolute favorite channel to use. I love Pinterest. A lot of people think it's overwhelming. It does not have to be, and I'm going to walk you through that whole system, okay? Also going to give you an app that my husband built specifically to optimize our Amazon Handmade store. It's the Scrappy Seller Listing Optimization app. It's only for Amazon Handmade, and it's an annual membership that I'm going to give to you as part of that bonus. It takes the thinking out of it. It's all automated. It's amazing. It will bring the sales to you. You're also going to get to join the Made for More online community, which is exclusive for creative and handmade sellers in the USA. And then I'm also going to give you my trade show toolkit, which is my most profitable tips and secrets. Like I said, no gatekeeping from my experiences that I have had going to different trade shows. So all of those amazing bonuses that I just went over with you, that is the value and the breakdown of the velocity bonuses plus the founding members discount. So I'm giving you today a value of over 3,000, over 3,500. Like, that's crazy. But I want this to be like, I want you to be so good and just ready to start and have everything you need to be successful in this. So I'm giving you over $3,500 worth of strategy and tools and things to implement in the Made for More method for only $4.99. Okay. So if this is something that you want to take advantage of, I am going to drop the link right here in the chat. And I want you to tell me if you believe that you are made for more. You can definitely click on the link and it will take you where you need to go if you want to become a part of this amazing opportunity. And I'm just going to tell you that now is the time. We've talked about betting on ourselves. We've talked about believing in yourself and knowing that you're your own best investment. It's all true. And I want to be the one to help you along this journey. Okay, so let's do it. However, remember at the beginning, I talked about bonuses. Okay, so in addition to the bonus that you're going to get for staying on the whole time today, you are also going to have the opportunity for anybody that decides to pay in full today from, by the end of before midnight. If you decide to pay in full today and opt into the Made for More method, I'm also going to gift you 1 week of one-on-one mentorship with me to answer all your daily questions with whatever you need so that you have no excuse, no tech hurdles, social media questions, getting your website set up, whatever it is. One-on-one, me and you, I'm going to help you get where you need to go by opting in today. Amazing. I wish I would have had this. It's like a mentor in your pocket. All right, so the full value of that now comes over $4,000, which is totally bonkers. But like I said, I just really want you to succeed. I believe in this. This is something that I have walked out over the past 8 years, and I want to help other people have the same freedom and success in your own life, okay? So over $4,000, it's still just $4.99 today if you add in that one-on-one mentorship bonus if you decide to purchase today. So some of the frequently asked questions that I get is how much time will this take? I built it out to be like a 6-week kind of course. It's not going to go away. So once you have it, you can access it whenever you want. You can go as fast or slow as you would like. I would just say make sure that you download and maintain the information. So however long that takes, it's totally up to you. Excuse me. There's no right or wrong. How do you get your questions answered? You can always send me an email, Shannon@shannonmariebennett.com, and I'm happy to help you with any questions that you may have. The tech is absolutely not too difficult. So if you're wondering about that, I am not a very techie person, and if I can do it, you absolutely can do it too. There is a money back guarantee as well. So if you go through the Made for More method for the up to the first 14 days and you decide that this actually is something that's not what you were hoping for or expecting, then, no questions asked. We will definitely give your money back within those first 14 days. So if all this did, if you decided to join me with the Made for More method today, if all it did was help you stop stressing over bills, worrying about how you're going to get your kid in soccer camp, or, have time that you wouldn't be trading time for money, right? And the freedom of what you want to do with your family. Would it be worth it? The answer is yes, for me at least. What if all it did was teach you how you can actually turn your creative gifts into consistent income without sacrificing time with your kids? Would it be enough? Okay. And what if it gave you the courage and the clarity to not just dream about what's possible, but actually see it fleshed out in your own life? Inspire your kids to believe that their own dreams, they can happen too, because they're watching mom do it. So all of that makes it worth it. But the last thing about snuggles, and I tell you this from like doing this for 8 years, and I started with my youngest, she was a baby on my hip, and now she's 8. But like, if it just gave you more snuggles, if implementing these strategies just gave you more snuggles and time with your kids, would it be worth it? Yeah. So here's that last breakdown if you just needed to see it one more time. Like I said, if you opt into the full payment today of the Made for More method, it's only $4.99. You're going to get a value of over $4,000. To me, that's a no-brainer, but that is the breakdown with all those fun bonuses, all the strategies, working through, Pinterest, Craft to Cash, the Visibility Vault, this app for handmade sellers on Amazon, how to get stocked in stores. All of that is included when you opt in today for just $4.99. So I wanted to show you, because I know some people are, I get it. Like, people are tight, right? There is a payment plan available if you need that. I did want to offer that to you because, like I said, I get it. I was there too. So if you decide that you want to opt in the payment plan instead, when you click on that link that's in the chat, it's only $169 a month, and I'm wiping out the premium fees, and it's just 3 payments, okay? But you don't get the one-on-one Voxer mentorship, okay? Voxer is an app that I use for mentoring my one-on-one clients. So if you need a little bit of a financial break, you can definitely opt into the monthly payment plan. You will not get the mentorship, but you will get all of the other bonuses, which was like over $3,500 worth of value for the $4.99. So that is an option for you as well. There's the breakdown of it. If you need to see it one more time. So I'm a visual person. Sometimes it makes more sense to me when I see it rather than hear it. So just wanted to show you that breakdown. And yeah, so I'll move into the questions in the chat, but I just want to make sure that you like I said, you can send me an email, shannon@shannonmariebennett.com. You can also send me a DM on Instagram. Oh, shoot, that reminds me. I had one more bonus that I was going to offer. I told you it was my birthday yesterday. I turned 43. And as a birthday bonus, I am going to draw one winner from, so if you want to be involved in this bonus, it has a $2,500 value. I've never done this before, but I'm giving away an 8-hour full day one-on-one with me. If you want to fly out to Nashville, Tennessee, we can work one-on-one together, strategize in your business, and make things happen, okay? It's a $2,500 value. If you want to be opted in for this bonus, you need to send in the DMs of my Instagram account the word birthday, okay? And I will draw someone at the end to see who gets the fun live bonus. I would love to meet you in person. I think that's so fun. So my Instagram handle, it's Shannon_Marie_Bennett, okay, on Instagram. And yeah, I can't wait to see who wins.